ARCadia was a 2-week festival that celebrated the opening of the Advanced Research Centre through a really big programme of events for all ages. The first cog in a much longer term programme of engagement by the university. We had music, performance, talks, walks to connect with the local community openly, accessibly, and making research available to everybody.
The event we brought to ARCadia was Living Fingerprints. We were trying to convey to people that fingerprints can be used for different purposes and sometimes for violent reasons, and so we were trying to create a conversation around those.
I was engaged by the School of Education to co-produce with academics a programme that introduced young people and children to the Advanced Research Centre.
So there was 2 events that we thought we would do. One was with the Living Lab, a date with data. And we talked about big data. The second event was about conversations with COVID, and we worked with a long COVID support group.
The diversity quota is basically an accessible and inclusive comedy night. Usually the diversity quota tries to basically showcase any night that has a wheelchair accessible venue, but now we have this brand new, amazing, huge building that is accessible. It was really exciting for us to bring our nights to a much kind of bigger space, bigger audience.
So it was led by the needs of those young folk and just their interests, and so we had all sorts of brilliant programmes. One called Instruments of Peace, which was talking about peace and conflict.
The actual activity was actually bringing clay and asking people to use their fingerprints and create pottery.
We also worked with the Luna Project, amazing group of young people, and what they want to do is help young people at school to ask questions about if you have an additional support need, how can I be a better friend?
Comedy is such an amazing educational tool to educate people in a really accessible way, and it's amazing to do that in such a community-focused research centre. It was a really amazing audience we had, even more diverse than we usually have. I think because the ARCadia Festival had so much other events going on, it kind of was the epitome of what we set out to do.
So what we were saying, well, we've got this new science, big data, so we should be thinking about ethically what we can do with it. So there was a really rich amount of data that came, pardon the pun, but that came from those discussions.
Think about a lot of the children and young people we invited into the space. Most of them have never been on campus before, and they also didn't realise it was for them. Our big job was to, as soon as they walked through the door, to make them feel incredibly welcome, and we wanted them to have a brilliant experience.
The second one, the conversations with COVID, it was very touching because a lot of people just said, I just feel that I'm in a place where people are going to recognise and acknowledge what I've been going through.
It was really nice because we didn't have to come up with questions or other kind of stuff. People would just come up with some ideas. So we were there to learn and listen as well.
Some of the teenagers we were talking to, really sophisticated mindsets, and they were really brilliant and brave, and they were themselves. And so I felt so proud to be attached to it, and also excited for them, because we're going to get them back. That's the main thing, is to get them back on campus and say, this is your space, so come and develop a relationship with the university.
The ARC is all about bringing research to the community and bringing community into research, and I think the diversity quota is an epitome of bringing all corners from the community here to platform and showcase their thoughts, their opinions, their culture, their everything.
Well, one of the central themes of our research is to create intercultural dialogue between different people, and that's what kind of conversation is happening in this building, and people sharing their ideas. That was really interesting, and that was the core kind of theme of my research.
Everything has to be done authentically. It has to be done listening to community and understanding what do people want, why do they want to come to this building, what do they want from it, and what do they want to feed into it. So it can only get better.
It's for me a symbol of this building or the university trying to listen to those people, and those things were really beautiful for me, opening it for the people.
Ultimately, it was the people that made the festival, the people who organised events, and the almost 7,000 people who came along. So it was them and their appetite to get involved that really made this.